I feel like so much manifestation content is very blaming, especially when it comes to the concept of wavering. People will insist that you didn't get your manifestation because you wavered, because you couldn't maintain the vibration, because you couldn't maintain the thought process that you're having. And in reality, it's a little or a lot more nuanced than that. Because, first of all, you don't control the thoughts that come into your mind initially, right? For the most part, the thoughts that come in and that are generated are coming from your subconscious. And then from there, you have the ability to then monitor the thought and then choose your relationship to the thought. But inherently, the thoughts that come into your mind are not predominantly, or at least most of them, are not conscious thoughts. They are not intentional thoughts. It's usually just running on autopilot in the background throughout the day. And that's part of the reason behind meditation practices and why people always tell you, meditation is such an important thing. And people really just misunderstand what meditation is. Meditation is really just being present in the moment and whatever it takes to then get that done. You could be watching TV, and if you're watching television and you're enjoying your show, then you are meditating. You are anchored in the moment. But I digress. The point I'm trying to make is what a lot of people want out of manifestation is instant gratification and for things to manifest instantaneously and right in front of them and just for it to happen like overnight or, right then and there. When in reality, a lot of manifestation work, while yes, you can definitely manifest things instantly, a lot of the true work behind manifestation is embodying. And to embody, you have to retrain your subconscious mind. You have to retrain your nervous system even, because if you are affirming I have $1 million but then you are straight up anxious, you're making your mind feel like there's a huge conflict there. If you're affirming you have $1 million but you have bills due and you're broke and you don't have any money coming in and you're just sitting down affirming and you're getting like anxiety attacks and shit like that, you're working against yourself. What you want to do is try your best to soothe your mind and do things to get your nervous system to be regulated and to calm down so then you can accept, or so your subconscious mind can then accept the affirmations you're trying to impose on it. And I'm not saying, force yourself to calm down and then, just go straight into affirming. It's deal with the emotions as you need to. Let them flow through you. Process them, feel them. Don't just suppress and stifle them. Because believe it or not, you being angry, you being frustrated, you even being like really sad still allows the energy to flow versus when you're like trying to not let it out and I'm not mad, I'm not upset, I'm just going to affirm this away. You're literally like stopping the energy. And you can almost feel that too if you pay attention to like what you're experiencing. Like, think about all the times that you've tried to stop yourself from crying or breaking down or whatever else. You literally feel like the energy about to release. You feel yourself about to cry, about to do these things, and then you're just like, no, I don't want to have that happen. You're suppressing it, and then the second you know you can't take it anymore, it all just comes out because you are literally letting the energy flow through your body and through your being. And no, you do not need to be positive while you are manifesting. Like, I don't you don't need to be. You need to be maybe wary of the thoughts that you're having. But negative emotion does not equate to bad manifestation or negativity being drawn into your experience. As long as you are not like in a bad mood and thinking like, oh, this is never going to change, this always happens to me, you know, you just have to think, I'm frustrated right now. I accept that I am frustrated, but this can be different. This is just a step on the way. This is the path. It really depends on what you believe to be true about the emotions that you're having. So you can feel frustrated, you can feel all these negative emotions, and then still be working towards what you're trying to get without any issue. Like people who be like, oh, you have to, be in a high vibration to manifest $1 million. Are you telling me that there are millionaires who aren't depressed? And that millionaires never experience anger or sadness or grief or anything of that sort? I think it's important to note that, again, as everybody is learning this and, posting and becoming, what they are, better at manifesting, that's just exactly the thing. Like, none of us are perfect at it yet. None of us have, the $1 million mansion and then the perfect lifestyle. Most of us are still working to get there. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with us being on the path, but it's important to be mindful that even your coaches, for the most part, and many of them are still working to get to where they want to get to. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can be a coach in something and still have a lot more knowledge that's very relevant to another individual. But I say that to have that be in the back of your mind so that way you're not taking every single thing that somebody says to be black and white, the truth. And then when it doesn't work for you, then you're now upset because of that. I've had a lot of experiences being able to manifest by robotically affirming, but at the very same time, that takes a lot of conscious effort and that's a lot more draining than simply going about my business, working towards what I want, and then having things flow in. And then in that exact same breath, I've had times like where I was angry. I mean, like just very angry about something. I don't even remember what it is at this point. And then in the midst of my anger, I've had pretty big manifestations just pop up. So your emotions have nothing to do with what you're manifesting. It's what you believe to be true in relation to what you're trying to obtain and bring in. And your emotions can be an indicator of that. But I don't think it's as black and white as feel sad, bad things, feel happy, good things. I think our emotions are very nuanced and very layered because you can be having, you know, a horrible day, but then you could still be very grateful about something else. It's like it's not just a very linear sense of how we relate to our emotions. Our emotions are very complex. And while I do completely acknowledge that everything that's happening in the moment is what your subconscious is understanding to be true, that doesn't necessarily mean that because you are feeling something in that specific second that you're working against your manifestation. It simply means that in that specific moment, you are experiencing just that emotion, and that's perfectly fine. But anyway, peace and blessings, and I hope you guys have a great night.